Rolling around at the speed. Oh. Got places to go, gotta follow my rainbow. Oh. I want to go at the speed of sound, but also I'm not that slick. Clearly.
One day I think we're definitely gonna have to play Sonic Adventure on Combo Move.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
part of it, I think, is that like Sonic Adventure has such a weird place in gaming history. I feel like it's a must-play for people. Not necessarily because it's good, but because it has a place in gaming history.
It's a piece of history.
It is. And the other part of it is that it, like, I feel like every Let's Play channel plays it at some point.
Yeah. No, you're definitely right.
There's a part of me
Any,
that's like
Nintendo heavy
yeah.
Let's Play channel, I think.
There's a part of me that's like, man, you're not a real Let's Player, or you're not a real Let's Play channel until you play Sonic Adventure.
Until you've done all the N64 and GameCube games.
It's true.
And Donkey Kong Country on the Super NES.
Do people Let's Play that a lot?
People really like those games.
Oh, I mean, I agree, but I just haven't seen a lot of Let's Plays of them.
Ah!
Dude, speaking of, Nintendo just threw Donkey Kong Country 2 up on SNES Online.
Yeah.
Weird to think about.
Denny's wants to hire. Nah.
Gonna work at Denny's?
How much they paying?
Probably minimum wage.
Nope.
That's fair. What is minimum wage in Arkansas?
Currently... they passed a bill to make it 11. I know it's much higher where you live. But like it's like an incremental thing.
Yeah.
So I think it was like 9 last year and it went to 10 this year. And then I think it's gonna be 11 next year.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is currently 13 in Chicago.
Which is cool. But also I think cost of living in Chicago is higher.
Oh, it totally is. I think minimum wage is still 13.
Oh, I missed a coin.
It's fine. Oh, 13.50.
Oh.
Oh, it's 13.50 or 14. Interesting.
Weird.
Yeah, it's apparently it's 13.50 per hour if you have 4 to 20 employees.
Oh,
But it's
a little more
14
complicated.
Yeah, but it's 14 if you have 21 or more, I guess. Interesting.
It is interesting. Yeah, it's just like, I totally understand offering part-time jobs at minimum wage, because, I mean, not that I think part-time people deserve to make that little, because I principally disagree with that, but like as surviving as a business in, you know, a capitalist society, I get it.
Yeah.
But also there's tons of job listings in my area, and where I am, the job market is actually atrocious, first of all. But I've seen so many full-time jobs at like $10 an hour, which is not livable. It's actually not. Like, it boggles my mind how you're gonna offer a full-time position, you know, to someone who's just trying to make a living.
Yeah.
For that little. Like, how are they gonna live?
And that's the weird thing is that, you know, we asked that question, but I think to a lot of business owners, that's the question they're asking themselves of like, how am I going to live? And because capitalism is brutal, the answer is by underpaying employees and keeping all the money for myself.
Yeah. You got a point. A business gotta survive, and a lot of them can't afford to pay. good wages.
Yeah. And
Oh, I can still
like,
get these coins.
Oh yeah, you're good. And that issue falls to our society.
Yeah.
Look, I feel like we talk about so many big and abstract and complicated issues that we never can actually talk about completely.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Combo move.
Combo movie. Dude,
The combo movie.
The combo movie. Did you know that the finale for Kingdom Hearts, I mean, you'll know this, like, you watching this at home, you'll know this because this will already have come out by the time this episode airs. But, Micah, did you know that the finale for Kingdom Hearts is 50 minutes long?
I thought it was around like 40 something, so that's not too far off.
Yeah, I think we got another like 10 minutes just from like credits and talking afterwards, but it's like around 50. It's a big one.
It's the combo movie.
It is the combo movie. I think it might be the longest episode of combo movie we've ever done.
Not bad.
It's not bad.
Some people really like an hour or two long Let's Plays, you know, like I can barely
That's amazing. I'm teetering close to the edge.
watch like a half-hour long Let's Play episode, you know.
Yeah.
Now, if I really enjoy a series of someone's content, like I can watch multiple episodes in one sitting, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
But still, like an hour and up is just so much to commit to.
For me, it depends on what the actual gameplay is.
Right, well, if it's like, say, like, if it's a speed run or a challenge run, I'm gonna watch like a 7-hour video. I'm just gonna split it up into pieces, you know?
Yeah.
But if it's like a series and that's what you're marketing it as, I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. For like our format, I think it works best as like shorter episodes. But I also watch, I watch Scary Game Squad. That's one of my favorite like shows to watch. And the way they record, from what I can tell, is because I think this is the way that Jesse Cox records, because he's like the head honcho of it, is that he just records like in a batch instead of like taking the time during recording to say like end of the episode, start of the episode. Just record in a big batch, and then you split it up afterwards. And there are advantages to this, and the main advantage is you can kind of figure out where the flow for an episode kind of begins and ends. And sometimes it makes sense, especially for horror games, because they can be more like kind of chapter based than other games.
Cat,
It can
I'm
make
so
sense
sick of
to
you.
like. It can make sense to do like one chapter per episode, and then you can end up with a really long episode, because that's just kind of like how it contains itself.
Yeah, stop!
What?
You ever try and play a game with a cat, like reaching with his back legs on my desk and his front legs on my shoulder?
Oh yeah.
I think he's hungry, but that's... I'm busy. Can't fuck you.
You can take time after this episode to feed him if you want, or now if you want.
Oh no,
I can entertain
someone
the
else is
people at
gonna
home.
do it.
Okay. Every once in a while, I get like 2 minutes alone time with the people at home. Every once in a while.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. I value that time.
4 backup musicians, sure. Here's one.
Whoa. I forgot if I already said this earlier. After the PlayStation like premiere presentation today, I was really like, I just wanted to talk about it, which is why I brought it up like immediately a few episodes ago. But it made me just want so badly to already be doing the combo move cast,
Yeah.
because I was like, I just want to like sit down with like Micah and talk about all of this, like the console stuff and digital and physical and everything associated for like an hour. I just want to like talk about it.
Yeah. That's the thing about gaming podcasts and any like tech podcast in general, is it's really not interesting unless the news cycle is interesting. So if you have a consistent schedule where you're doing podcasts, like you need to make sure you have a source of content.
Yeah.
And like some weeks are just more loaded than others.
Yeah, and I wonder, in my head, I don't imagine the Combo Move cast as like a news-based thing. Like, I don't imagine it as a gaming podcast per se.
Okay.
Like, I'm sure we'd end up talking about games a lot, but I feel like we just kind of shoot the shit and just like
Okay.
have more full conversations than we do
We're gonna
during
open the
like
door to other
gameplay.
things.
Yeah,
Just whatever's on our mind.
yeah. I never knew you could sidle like along the
Spider-Man.
curve like that.
Spider-Man.
Huh.
I'm gonna wait till an unsuspecting victim gets below me.
Okay. Yeah, the podcast could open us
kidding.
up to talk about like anything we wanted. We could talk movies or ice cream. I don't know.
Dude, I love ice cream.
Right?
Yeah, we could put together a list of topics we want to talk about.
We could. I would also love to do like I don't know. I would love to do game reviews with you in like a podcast format.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think that'd be a lot of fun. Like you and I could pick a game. The tough part is that then we would need to both commit time to like finishing the game. But I would love to
Yeah.
like
In addition
out-
to finding time to record.
yeah, exactly. That'd be something I would love to pursue if we ever did Combo Move like full time.
Yeah.
It's like let's go play these games and write down
Oh.
our thoughts and talk about them for like a while. Because the thing, I don't like just video game reviews of like we give this game a 4 out of 5
Yeah.
or an 8 out of 10.
10 out of 10, IGN.
The numbers mean nothing to me.
I agree. I want to hear the specifics.
Yeah, and like, sometimes the reviews can go into that, but at the end of the day, you still get the number and it's hard to know what that number is like broken up into.
Yeah. How does the game make you feel, IGN?
Yeah. I mean, it's like if that's a puzzle game, like maybe that's not an important factor. Like maybe you wouldn't judge a puzzle game the same way you would judge like an RPG.
No.
Actually, maybe you would. You could judge it on similar criteria of like, how does it do in making its main mechanic feel not repetitive?
Yeah.
But, just different genres of games and different games within each genre go for different things and have different objectives. And it's so frustrating that like we don't critique. I feel like we never review or critique games based on that criteria. Like, I was thinking about this today just because of the discussion of like the price of AAA games going up soon. Like, we all have this way that we judge the value of games.
I'm sick. I'm
You're
sick.
pretty sick nasty, dude. You should take some ibuprofen.
Yeah. Some Tylenol.
Some Tylenol,
Yeah,
some
sorry, you were
Dayquil.
saying.
It's okay. I was gonna say, like, I want to sit down with people sometimes and just be like, what gives a game value to you? Like I feel like so often when we talk about the value of a game, we just mean like there's this unspoken ratio of how long a game should be, quote unquote, based on its price point. I feel like sometimes people are just like, oh, for every dollar I spend, I should get an hour of gameplay.
No.
I agree. Nah.
Time spent playing the game is a really bad measure for price and general worth of a game.
I'm with you. I think there are rare instances. I always feel like I say that word wrong. Instances. Where like time could be a valuable judge, but it's so uncommon.
Yeah.
I feel like it's almost never worth bringing into the equation. And a good example I've thought of earlier, or at least I think it's a good example, is like just because you have more time doesn't necessarily mean you've spent that time well. So like, a thing I love about TV shows versus movies is that TV shows have more time to like basically let stories happen, to let things like marinate, to let characters like sit in consequence. You know, I feel like there are often less of time limits on things in shows, and that's nice because I think it makes a lot of stories feel more natural. Especially because, you know, or at least we did back in the olden days. You know, you would get a new episode of a series like every week or every 2 weeks.
I'm old. I watch cable.
You watch cable. Back in the days of cable, you got one episode. Sometimes you got one episode every 2 weeks, and sometimes if you were really lucky, you got one every 1 week. But
I remember
nowadays,
Verizon On Demand. That was the coolest shit.
you had to pay $1.99 for the newest episode of SpongeBob if you missed it.
But you could watch it whenever you wanted.
The trade-off.
But nowadays you just get whole seasons and like a splurge, and that ruins the depth. But
It
point was
bothers
that-
me that everything is subscription based now.
well, yeah, because it's just cable.
I hate recurring fees.
Yeah, because it's just cable.
Yeah.
The point in moving things online was that we wouldn't have to pay subscription fees, and now we just do because now everyone's doing it.
And now we pay
So-
more subscription fees for multiple services.
Correct.
When before, only one service offered all the channels.
Mm-hmm.
And by only one, I mean there were multiple services, but they all offered the same thing, maybe like a different package.
Remember when the internet was going to be like that?
Yeah, that was a whole thing.
It was like recent, in the past like year or so. They were like, let's privatize the internet. You're going to have to pay different fees if you want like the social media internet and the streaming internet and yada yada.
The ultimate
You missed a
package.
mini moon.
Did I?
Yeah.
No! I failed everyone.
No, you didn't. You don't need it.
I need it. Sandy!
Yeah, my point was like,
Sandy!
you have.
Have you heard of cable?
Sandy! If you missed the premiere of SpongeBob, you can catch it 2 to 3 hours later on Nickelodeon West Coast.
You can get it on demand. But they don't keep all the episodes on there, so you still kind of have to watch it when it comes out.
You gotta pull up the TV guide or get one in the mail.
My point was that even though, like, the benefit of TV shows is that they have more time and that can work really well, but that doesn't necessarily make every TV show better than all movies just because they have more time. Because you can, even if you have more time, if you have a shit story, you just have a shit story that runs longer. And I think the
Story looks
same
lonely.
principle applies to games. Of like, man, you can make a game 60 to 100 hours, but if your game, if like the experience is like said and done in 10, maybe even 5, like what's the point of the other hours? Oh, bench friends.
Bench friends. Bench kiss.
Bench kiss. What if we kissed on the New Donk City bench?
What if we kissed on the donk?
And every time we kiss, I swear I can fly. You get to feel my heart beat.
We're a mess.
There was a Smash Bros tier list based on like if a character carries a gun or not. And in its own tier was Mario in like the USA outfit, and he was like, has a USA alt is basically the same thing as having a gun.
It's true, unfortunately. Look, we're out of time for this episode. Next time on Combo Move, we'll be back with who fucking knows at this point.
We're finding the last musician.
Oh yeah, do we have 3 of those? 4?
Yeah, we got 3.
Cool. Next time, 4.